This is how you make a poly block print. So you'll need a biro or a pencil, anything with a fine tip on it that's smooth that you can push into the poly block, 2 rollers and ink. It's nice to do this on a board as well, just to save mess being made. And the first thing you need to do is to engrave your design onto your poly block. So if we're doing Day of the Dead, for example, I will start to engrave a skull. You should already design this first before putting it onto the poly block, just in case you make a mistake. I'm just going to show you how to engrave. So as I put my biro towards it, I just want to push in gently. I don't want to create a hole and make a rip, because if we do that, the ink won't go through and it won't work. So we just want to really gently push in. Just going to move the camera down so you can see. Really gently push in, not all the way through. And you can go over it to make the lines deeper. You'll need to be careful that sometimes it rips a little bit. And if it does that, you just need to lift up your pen and reapply the pressure carefully. This could be the start of my skull design. Obviously, this is just showing you how to engrave. But this is one I did earlier. And this will be the one I use to print. So once you've finished your engraving, it should look something like this. This is a better version. I spent more time on it. This was pre-planned. Once you've got this and you're happy with it, you do have the option to cut out the edges around with scissors, but I'm going to leave mine blank because I like a frame on it. So you've got your print ready on your poly block. You then need ink and 1 roller. Your other one will be used later, and I'll explain that in a minute. So you want to get your ink, only a little bit because it's a small print. We're only using A5 prints today. So you get a little bit of ink, not too much. You then roll it out with your roller until you hear a crackle. It should be quite smooth. There shouldn't be loads of ink, so only pour a little bit down at a time. You don't want loads of it. Once you get this crackling sound, that's when you know you're at a good stage with rolling out your ink. You don't want it too thick. Your roller also needs to be fully coated in ink, so you need it on all edges. I'm then ready to coat my poly block. So I'll take this back and I'll very, very gently, because it's quite thin, coat it onto my design. I'll then, because I can't get to the edges without kind of going onto the board, I don't want ink all over here, I just want it on my poly block. I can turn it round and push up and down this way, very carefully. And I'm not getting too much ink on here, just enough so that when I apply the pressure later on, I will get my full image. I'm missing a little bit at the bottom, so again, I'm not going to put my roller in the big lump of ink, just the bit I've already rolled out. I'll collect some more and apply it on the bottom. Once you're happy and you know that your poly block is fully covered in ink, you then leave your roller facing up using the stand here, and you get your paper. So you can have white or red, whatever colour you want. You can get more card colours and you can play around with different colours later on. I'm going to use red just to start, and then I'll use white afterwards. I'll put this face down here, and I'll now get my clean roller and apply the pressure on top. So you want to roll it all the way round, like you rolled the ink on with more pressure. You can then flip it over as well and push from the other side. Once you've done this, put your roller down, very carefully peel the paper off, and you then have a poly block print. So that's my red one. I'll show you one more time, I can reuse this as many times as I want. That's why polyblock printing is so good. You can keep using the same design over and over. And that means you can play with more colours and more different inks. So this will be a white one. Again, same thing. Put it down very gently and apply pressure with your roller. If you add too much ink, it might seep into the gaps that you've made with your biro and your engravings. If that happens, you won't get your full image. So that's why it's extra careful that we have a light amount of ink with a lot of pressure. So again, I'll peel this one off very carefully. Oh, that's creasing a little bit there. It's always easy to do it the other way around like I did with the red one. And then you have 2 polyblock prints.